Back to the Charlotte Hornets. That's my league. And today, as y'all see, we're going through. We want to play a third game of the season against the Atlanta Hawks, who we beat a couple days ago. And that took overtime. Who, according to me, had 34 points and a career high for him.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. In this game, we'll see the Charlotte Hornets going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Well, for Atlanta, they lost Game 1 in this matchup earlier this season. They'll see them 4 times in all, looking to even the series with a win tonight. For the Hawks over the last few years, they've brought in some faces and tactics from San Antonio. Shaq, are they really the San Antonio Spurs East, as we've heard in recent years?
Well, Coach Budenholzer was a former San Antonio Spurs assistant. They run a similar motion offense with spacing and the ball movement. They're not the Spurs yet because they don't have any players that can create ISO plays and get players other shots.
What I like about that team, Ernie, is every player on that team, just put their ego aside. They're not worried about the numbers, and winning is all costs, and winning is first. And when you see that in a team, then that is the hallmark of the San Antonio.
And we're not live.
Welcome, everyone. Let's get ready for some NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my colleagues Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And back in Charlotte, following the road trip, it's the Hornets back on their home floor. They beat the Hawks during their last encounter in Atlanta.
And what an outstanding win it was. I mean, to get it the way they did in overtime made it that much sweeter.
And I think most fans thought that once they couldn't win it in regulation, they had missed their opportunity. And overtime wasn't going to go their way. But I tell you what, you got to give them credit for pulling it out.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And so in the game for the Hawks, Teague and Korver are the guards. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. And it's Bazemore at the 3, the small forward.
And guys, you know, last year Marvin Williams signed a big contract, and he did not follow that up with big production. In fact, he tied a career low in terms of his field goal percentage at only 42. And not exactly what the Hornets were expecting from their new stretch 4.
Here's Teague, following the basket by Nicholas Batum. Teague can't hit.
No.
We've seen a quick start here for the Hornets. It's a 5-point game. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
You can see it in that game, despite the odds going against them. Once it got to OT, they had that belief and resolve that they could win.
And, Greg, sometimes we've seen it happen where a team that's supposed to be the underdog gets the game into OT, and then the momentum swings their way.
They need this. Hornets with the rebound.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Walker with it, picked up by Teague. Walker against Teague. Walker's shot is off.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
And he gets it to go.
It took them a while, but finally they take the lid off.
You know, sometimes all it takes is one to get a team going. We'll see if that's the case here.
Now, here's Walker. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Hawks in Atlanta. On the wing, Williams. Zeller dishes to Batum. Bazemore grabs the miss. The Hawks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Got a hand on it. Teague against Walker. Passes it to Lee. Back to Walker. The feed to Zeller. Clock at 6. Launches a 3. Walker's shot is off. The Hawks trail by 5. Korver with it, and Batum picks him up defensively. T kicks to Horford. Korver passes to T. Here's Bazemore, covered by Lee. And a miss there on the triple.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
Outside Williams. Here's Walker. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Korver. And Batum kicks to Williams. The 15-footer. Good. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Horford dishes to Korver. T kicks to Millsap. For 3. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
A chance now to go over to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Budenholzer.
Yes, Kevin, and he said he wants his guys getting to the rim and playing really going pedal to the metal. He said we want to put our athleticism to use and just have fun out there. Kevin, look for them to attack the lane and try to get a whole lot of points in the paint. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris.
And guys, you hear about how the Hawks are the jokingly referred to as the Spurs of the East. It has to do with their coach, Mike Budenholzer, who's really brought that philosophy here to Atlanta.
Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. With this stoppage in play, we have a chance now to show you which teams led the league in three-point percentage last year. The Hawks second.
You know, a solid three-point game can be the cornerstone of an effective offense. I mean, it adds a little pop and punch to what a team is doing offensively. And last year, this team was not made up of just good three-point shooters. They had great three-point shooters.
Now, here's Walker. Down low and stolen by Horford. Pushing it up. Bazemore misses. Hornets leading by 6. On for Coach Budenholzer, Greg. He did spend 19 years with the Spurs, so it makes a lot of sense. Clarkie won 4 titles during his time there in San Antonio.
Hey, Kevin, you can really see how he's adapted and brought the motion offense over to this team, and it's worked well for the Hawks.
After making it to the playoffs in 2014, the Hornets couldn't repeat the feat in 2015. A slow start probably, Greg, more than anything else did him in.
Really disappointing season coming in with such high expectations, and 33-49, just not good enough to get into the playoffs in any season.
Now here's Teague. 11-point game his last outing. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It goes on Cody Zeller.
You know, for the Hornets, they've not made consecutive playoff appearances since the team moved to New Orleans back in 2002. They just haven't been able to stay consistent enough to make it to the playoffs back-to-back years.
And the Hawks making a change here. Schroeder's checked in. That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
And guys, what's rough for the Hornets is that they were a consistent playoff fixture in the late 90s. Still, the team has never made it to the conference finals in its franchise history, and that should be a goal for them in the coming years.
Hornets leading by 6. Kicks it to Batum. Courtney Lee is on the wing. Back to Batum. Out left to the wing. There's a screen by Williams. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Let's go. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Charlotte making some changes. Jefferson comes in for Cody Zeller. And it's Kaminsky in for Williams. And a switch here also for Atlanta. Thabo Sefolosha is checked in for Kent Bazemore. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
And here we can check out the story on Nicholas Batum. Last season's performance for him averaged about 9 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
And guys, they're finally getting the consistency they wanted to see from him. Look for that to continue.
Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for the Hornets. Now here's Lee. Turned in an outstanding game against Atlanta. Kaminsky, the pass to Jefferson. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
And for Big Al Jefferson, he's been a great player in this league, but he hasn't played on that many great teams, and he's never made an all-star team. Hard to imagine.
And for Al Jefferson, never making an all-star team. He's got the numbers on offense to get him there. People just feel he's probably, what, Clark, one-dimensional?
Well, you know, even though the All-Star game has no defense for the most part, you usually need to play a little bit of D to have a chance to get there.
Now here's Heinrich. That misses off the backboard.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Punches it down with pop.
Rubs it in. It looks like a little deeper with the hanging finish.
I tell you what, they're not backing off at all, are they?
Here's Muscala. Sefolosha kicks to Heinrich. They set the pick. Off the screen. Off the left rim and out.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Outside, Lynn. Poked loose and stolen by Scott. And now in transition is Heinrich. Here we go. Sefolosha's shot is good. Sefolosha's got his first 2 points.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Now here's Kaminsky. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Jefferson dishes to Kaminsky, and he gets it to go.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
Schroeder kicks to Scott. Sefolosha passes to Heinrich. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Scott, good.
That's the kind of D that you're not going to find success with, guys. They've got to get a hand in the face.
And here is Lynn. He had 10 points in the win against Atlanta. Feeds it to Batum. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
And Atlanta calls their first time out of the game. Defeated by the Hornets in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
You know, it seemed like once it went to overtime, the confidence from both teams just really seemed to go in opposite directions. And unfortunately for them, they were on the wrong side of that equation.
And, you know, Greg, that's the case a lot of times when you have an uneven matchup like that. I mean, the longer it stays close, the more the underdog starts to believe it can win.
Hornets leading by 8. Here's Lamb. The pass to Lynn. Clock at 6. Dishes to Jefferson. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. And the Hornets lead by 10.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to summon up a little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too.
Outside, Lynn. He feeds it to Jefferson. The basket good off the assist from Lynn. Jefferson's got 5.
And really, these teams don't even look like
they
belong on the same court today.
I don't think they do, based on what we've seen. A double-digit lead, and we're still in the first. Ouch. That's painful.
Now here's Heinrich. They set the pick. And a little luck that time, but it drops.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Now here's Lamb. Screen by Jefferson. Over to the left wing. Now here's Lamb. Tight defense on him. Lets the 3 fly. Jefferson's shot is off. Pass to Schroeder. From the arc. And that's not going to go. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Hornets lead by 8. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. And before the game, we heard from Kemba Walker, who talked about his mentality when he steps out onto the floor.
Play free.
You know, he may be having fun, but I'm not so sure playing street ball is really working out for Kemba, who needs to shoot better than 38% for the Hornets to go anywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, what might be better than continuing to play the same game you've been playing forever is to take your game to a new level. And that's going to take some discipline. I think Kemba has more than enough talent to be able to do that, but that's his challenge moving forward.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Hornets.
A lot of success from mid-range so far for them, guys. If nothing else works, they can always fall back on the jump shot.
Yeah, the other thing, though, is they have attacked in the open floor. They're definitely getting a lot of easy ones that way.
On the court for Atlanta, Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Teague and Korver are the guards. And it's Bazemore at the 3. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Last year, a good one for Jeff Teague, Clark. He was a first-time All-Star in this league.
He's a pick-and-roll technician, so good in reading the defense as he operates from that spot on the floor. He was really the catalyst for what was a really efficient offense for the Hawks.
Millsap dishes to Teague. Inside, Horford. Right through the D for the layup. Horford's got his first bucket in this one. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone.
Jeff Teague, a real speed merchant. I mean, very tough to stay in front of. He can put you on skates, blow by, and get right to the rim.
Now here's Williams. He had 13 points in the win against the Hawks in Atlanta.
And also, he competed on the backboards. That also had a lot to do with the game.
From outside, off the mark.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
And I wouldn't bet against him in that situation the next time out.
Here's Teague. Back to Millsap. There's the killer two-handed slam.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Picked by Williams. Here's Zeller. And too long on the shot.
And, guys, Jeff Teague, an attack guard. He's just an average three-point shooter, but he gets to the free throw line in bunches, shoots at a high percentage, and has really revolved, I think, into one of the elite point guards in the league. Yeah, now Horford really has become one of those elite two-way big men. And that's very rare. You look at most bigs in the NBA, they excel at either one end or the other, but this is one of those guys that does it all.
Hornets have gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second quarter. Outside, Walker. And it's Zeller atop the key. from downtown, and it's Walker that time on the assist by Zeller. 6 points for Kemba Walker. And Horford at 6'10", a natural power forward who's been pressed into duty at the center spot, but he holds his own on the low block.
He also does a really good job, Kevin, moving his feet and covering in space, covering the pick and roll. He's outstanding in that regard, which is important in today's game. He's got mobility and a high IQ.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with the pass.
Teague against Walker. Outside Teague. There's the dish to Bazemore. Off target from outside.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
Walker goes in. And that one's good. Walker's got 5 points now this quarter.
Looked like he was channeling Bob Cousy right there. Since when does he take guys off the dribble like that?
Millsap kicks to Teague. Pass to Bazemore. He dishes it to Korver. Teague with a clean look. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. Hornets leading by 7. Left side, Batum. Can't get the putback. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
That's got to be job number 1 right now. Nothing easy on the inside.
Here's Walker following the basket by Al Horford. And Walker kicks to Zeller. Batum wide open. He fires. That one's good from the corner. Batum's got 6 points. The Hawks trail by 7. Horford with it. He's coming off a 16-point game against Charlotte.
And equally impressive on the backboards. I thought his rebounding was huge.
And Teague, here we go. An easy 2 points on the layup. 6 points for him.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Courtney Lee is on the wing, guarded by Korver. Lee kicks to Walker. Pass to Williams. Lee outside. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
Courtney Lee, that boy.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over.
You know, I think he just wants to tinker with the game plan a little bit, and I think that's a wise timeout.
And part of it, too, Greg, was he saw some things going on out there that he didn't care for.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
I was able to listen in on what Mike Budenholzer had to say to his team. Horford was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. Well, Coach not wasting any time in tweaking the game plan. We'll see if it makes a difference as we approach halftime, Kevin.
Thanks again, Doris. Clark, one thing about the Hawks last year is they were very strong on the road, as you could have guessed.
Yeah, but Kevin, they struggled a little bit down the stretch on the road, but still managed to have the best road record in the East.
Al Jefferson's checked in for Charlotte. Jeremy Lin comes in for Lee. Atlanta also making some changes here. Mike Scott's checked in for Millsap. And Thabo Sefolosha subbed in for Kent Bazemore. Now here's Batum following the miss by Al Horford. Jefferson's shot is off.
And how about that road record for the Hawks? 25-16 last season. 9 of those wins came during that 19-game winning streak in early 2015.
And there's a whistle that goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul. Jeremy Lamb's checked in for Walker. And then for Atlanta, Mike Muscala comes in for Al Horford. And it's Heinrich in for Jeff Teague. Now here is Sefolosha. 6 to shoot. Now here's Schroeder, defended by Lin. And it's Schroeder missing.
Boy, you look at the Hawks, and they seem to be built to play on the road because they can survive a player having an off game. They're so deep and versatile. Team basketball is a lot less prone to go cold when you're on the road.
Now here's Kaminsky. There's Lynn with the three. Rebound by Muscala. It's an 8-point differential. Here's Scott. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Damn.
With a pause in the action, let's show you the teams that were best from the line last season. Number 5, the Hawks.
Collectively, I mean, they had an amazing year at the free throw line. Sometimes free throw shooting can be contagious. It seemed like everyone on their team had the hot hand.
And Mike Scott, a former second-round draft pick who has carved out a role here in the NBA the last 2 seasons, Clark. He was a major contributor off the bench.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tweener, you know, not big enough to maintain position down low on a consistent basis and not quick enough to really be a 3-man or small forward, but what he can do is get to the basket, rebound okay, and knock down the deep shot.
In a wide-open look for Lynn. Bangs home the trifecta. Lynn's got the lead up to 10 now for the Hornets. Atlanta's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. Now here's Schroeder. Defense right on him. Now Heinrich. Jefferson with the double team. That's a 2 from Cephalosha. The shot no good. Now Charlotte takes it the other way. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. Over in the corner, Lamb. Offline with his 3.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
Schroeder kicks to Scott. Shot from 12. And that one comes up a bit short. Here are the Hornets with the ball. They're on a 15-5 run. The feed to Hansbrough. .149 left to play here in the second quarter. Knocked loose. Schroeder kicks to Scott. Wide open. That's good. Scott's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Hawks. Charlotte's gone for the three-pointer 7 times here in the second and been successful 3 times. Lynn the pass to Lamb. He kicks it to Daniels. Screen by Jefferson. Feeds to Lamb. Jefferson, a screen on Heinrich. No good from Lamb.
Well, it seems like they're getting a little fat and sassy here, complacent in the second quarter.
We've seen their free throw attempts stagnate, not getting much going on inside. They can't get too comfortable.
Kaminsky is checked in for the Hornets. Williams comes in for Troy Daniels. 1:03 left to play here in the half. Now here's Schroeder. Not a lot of room. Heinrich inside the three-point line. Rebound by Williams.
Nobody even close to him, and he can't believe he doesn't knock it down.
Screen by Jefferson. Williams dishes to Jefferson. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Mike Muscala. .41 seconds left now here in the second. Outside Jefferson for the 3.
And after that solid opening quarter, you can see now he is definitely starting to cool off.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
And that lead pass allowed him to get straight to the rim unabated in stride. And this should be the last possession of the quarter.
Exactly. I'm right with you there, Greg. I mean, no need to give the ball back before the end of the quarter. Make sure you get the last shot here.
Now here's Lamb. There's a screen. Lynn, that's a 2-pointer. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Lynn's got 5 points so far. And we've reached halftime in this one. It's Charlotte up by 8. 2K Sports back in a moment here at the Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille. Charlotte had no problems getting going. They had the pieces in place for a nice stretch to open it up and went on a 7-0 run to start. They were hot as the first quarter came to a close, making all right, and that'll do it for us here. We now take you back to the...
And the third quarter about ready to get underway.
Take a look at what Kemba Walker's done. He's got 8 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
I love the rhythm his outside stroke has produced today.
Cody Zeller out there with Williams. Then it's Lee. Then there's Batum. And it's Walker in at the point. So that's the group out there for Charlotte. 5 to shoot. A nice shot by Teague.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg. And when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
And the dunk by Zeller.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim. And what a year last year for the Hawks. And what a job they did in their division. So many people thought Washington or Miami would run away with the Southeast. But the Hawks took that division by storm.
Boy, just an excellent assist. Nice work from Kemba Walker.
The Hawks trail by 10. Teague gets to Millsap. Back to Teague. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Millsap inside, working on Williams. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
Well, Kevin, we've got a moment now to look back to last year's Atlanta Hawks. Second in assists, second in three-point field goal percentage. And they also showed up in the top 5 in shooting percentage. This is a team that knows how to execute its offense and get good shots.
And from those assist numbers, you can see this was a very unselfish team. Their passing was really infectious and made them a tough team to defend.
And the shot is good. The Hornet lead has been cut down now to just 8 on the basket from Bazemore.
Now that's a momentum shifter there. A steal leading straight to a quick bucket.
Yeah, and a great way, Clark, to capitalize on the turnover. Don't waste any time. Get the ball right up the court.
For the Hawks, it was the first time they have won their division in 21 years. Hard to believe, Clark, given how often they're in the playoffs.
And, you know, the last time they won their division, it was when they were in the Central back in '94. Just another great moment for what was an incredible season for the Hawks last year. You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle, and that's held true in this one so far.
And, Clark, their effort on the glass has given them the advantage, but it's also been the effort in general that's made a difference.
Shot is good, and the Charlotte lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Al Horford.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
And the Hornets call time here.
And Kent Bazemore, the long-armed lefty out of Old Dominion, where he was the Division I Defensive Player of the Year back in 2011. A 5-year senior. He graduated with 2 degrees, one in criminal justice, the other in human services.
Now here's Lee. 7 points in the game. Batum passes to Williams. Here's Walker. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And Bazemore grew up in a small town, Kelford, North Carolina, Clark, less than 300 people.
And a very tight-knit community, as you might expect, Kevin. His uncle owned the local diner, and you see that in his demeanor. Very social, a humble guy. He's really a nice presence in the locker room.
Probably as close to a sure thing as you can have at the free throw line. And, guys, there's no doubt Walker has a lot of the tools needed to be a great point guard, but his shooting percentage is really what has kept him from making the league. Just not as consistent as he needs to be, and a lot of it has to do with shot selection. That also has to improve.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Mike Budenholzer was discussing with his guys. Horford was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach is looking for big things from him throughout the rest of this game on the offensive end. A lot of the scoring burden will fall on him. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Just thinking again about Kemba Walker's field goal percentage, Greg. You were talking about shot under 40%, Clark, from the floor last year.
Yeah, and I think so much of shooting percentage is a function of shot selection. That's 3 out of the last 4 seasons now under 40% for Kemba. In order to be an elite point guard, that number's got to go up.
Now here's Millsap. He's got 5. And that one's good. Millsap's got 7 points in the game. Hornets leading by 8. And Batum kicks to Williams. Millsap with the steal. To the middle. Here's Horford. The shot, no good. Good D by Lee.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead. Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
A great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and nasty jam.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
Here's Bazemore. After the basket by Charlotte. Shoots from the block. And Horford wide open. He shoots. Horford missing again.
Yeah, great look, but disappointing with the miss.
Boy, what happened on that one, Greg? I mean, that's almost an automatic shot for him.
Now here's Walker. The 12-point lead, their biggest of the game. Outside Williams. Pulls it from 20. Rebound Atlanta.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Doubled by Lee. Here's Millsap. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Marvin Williams. And he isn't the biggest body at 6'8", Clark, but Paul Millsap, very effective.
And part of his being underrated and underestimated, I think, is due to that size. But folks are finally starting to come around. That kind of production he's put up will make that happen.
And he's good on the second.
And Millsap, with over a 7-foot wingspan and also just a great nose for the ball. He gets you rebounds, blocks, and he leads all power forwards in steals pretty much every season.
Now here's Walker. 10 points for him. Kicks to Lee. Charlotte needs to get a shot up. Williams rejected by Millsap. Lee against T. Teardrop shot. Outside Batum. Here's Lee. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And speaking of Millsap's defense, I mean, he can switch out and cover perimeter players as well. His smaller stature gives him that versatility, but then the long wingspan allows him to still bang with the biggies.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hornets. Jefferson's checked in for Zeller. Kaminsky comes in for Williams. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Nicholas Batum. Now here is Cephalosha. There's the pass to Scott. Turnaround Jay. Atlanta again missing.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Dishes it to Lin. There's the triple. No good. And Atlanta will go the other way with it. Now here comes Teague leading the break. To the wing on the left. This one for 3. And he gets it to go. Teague's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Hawks.
Really hard to find fault with anything.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
Special thanks to Kia for that sweet Kia Slam Cam replay. Lamb, checked in for Charlotte. Teague against Lynn. Schroeder kicks to Teague. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Teague's got 9 points now in the quarter.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there. Dead on target.
Teague against Lynn. Here's Jefferson, and he gets it to go. Jefferson's got 7.
Boy, what a slick job of passing from Jeremy Lin.
Big Al. There you go, Big Al.
Horford with the screen on Walker. Schroeder, that one off the back iron and out.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Walker's shot is off.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Stolen by Walker. Here's Lynn. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Walker's got his 9th assist in the game now. The Hawks trail by 12. A big dip in performance here for the Hornets last year. In 2014, they were very tough to beat at home, and that was not the case in 2015.
Yeah, I mean, they struggled to string together those defensive runs at home, and in the end, that led to their less than stellar record.
And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Here's Hansbrough. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And, you know, that record for the Hornets last year at home, they ended up going 19-22, 6 fewer wins than they had in 2014 when they last made the playoffs.
And getting back to the Hornets, they were the worst shooting team in the league at home. And they have to remedy that in a hurry. Shot only 42% here last season. And guys, Tyler Hansbrough, as heavily a decorated player as we've ever had in college, has somehow seen his numbers steadily decline in the pros. Last season, he was in for an average of only 14 minutes a game, the lowest of his career. And he also only averaged about 4 points a game, which also equaled the lowest of his career.
And so he hits the technical free throw. Tyler Hansbrough has been a effort guy, but he hasn't, just displayed the physical tools needed to match up, it looks like, with bigger power forwards.
Yeah, and if you lack certain physical tools, you better have a well-developed skill set. That other area where Tyler has needed improvement is his skills. Still young enough to turn it around, but the clock continues to tick.
Hornets leading by 6. And Lamb kicks to Daniels. There's the triple, and he gets it to go.
Well, the first thought from the D there was to protect the rim, so good idea to take the 3 in transition.
Here's Cephalosha. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
You know, not many saw it coming last season with the Hawks. I mean, they just ran away with the Eastern Conference. It was the first time they took the East since 1994.
And he's good on the second. And with the Hawks and the East, they just dominated the rest of the division. 39 of the Hawks' 60 regular season wins came in conference.
Yeah, and across the board, the Hawks statistically just dominated all Eastern opponents. They shot it better, played better defense, took better care of the ball. They are set up to be a factor in this conference for a long time. Really good ball movement there in transition.
The Hawks have been shooting right around 75% at the line, 9 of 12 so far.
And at the line last season, about 78% as a team. Pretty solid numbers.
You know, Kevin, they would love to post a similar percentage again this season. I mean, I think that's safe to say they'd love to shoot free throws as well as they did a year ago.
And here's Schroeder. He feeds it to Heinrich. There's the 3. And no good.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Hornets men's team.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The 4th quarter of play should begin momentarily. Charlotte leading by 7 on the court for Atlanta. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Kyle Korver is out there with Dennis Schroeder. And it's Bazemore at the 3 spot. Now here's Walker. Pass to Zeller. 6 to shoot. The dish to Lee. And Charlotte again with the bucket. Here's Schroeder. Millsap a screen on Walker. Schroeder passes to Korver. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now here's Walker. Picked by Zeller. Lee outside. It's rebounded by Paul Millsap. Millsap's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Down low, Bazemore. Excellent D there from Williams.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Lee kicks to Zeller. Pass to Williams. And stolen by Horford. Now the Hawks moving it the other way. And the slam dunk by Bazemore.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Schroeder passes to Korver. He dishes it to Millsap. And he banks in the layup.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
We're about 2 minutes into the 4th quarter in this one. Right side, Batum. From 13. Bounces high off the rim and drops. And the Hornets lead by 6.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Here's Schroeder. Passes it to Millsap. Shot is no good.
And it doesn't even matter that he's surrounded on that possession. He's got the size to pull those boards down anyway.
Lee gets the bucket.
And that's exactly how they've gotten the lead right here. Easily, he's been their most consistent performer.
As simple as it gets. He's hitting everything he's looked at. Keep feeding the fire.
And he has starting to turn it on now after that slow start. You know, and for Cody Zeller, after that promising rookie campaign, he just did not tear it up in year 2. In fact, his production only improved slightly. But that was mostly due to the increase in playing time. Talented guy, no doubt, just still trying to find his way in the league.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Steve Clifford was just going over the game plan with his team. He said we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
Now here's Walker. The feed to Williams. Back to Walker. Rebound, Atlanta. Millsap's got his 4th rebound in this one. And for Cody Zeller, Greg, there's a reason he was the 4th overall pick back in 2013. He showed the size and athleticism to be a difference maker in college. And Clark, now he has to do it at the pro level as well, and I think people are pretty confident he can.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with those folks myself because he does have the tools. It's now a matter of transitioning and becoming a little better shooting the ball than he's shown.
Here's Teague. The Hawks working the ball around. Lee with the ball. Up top, Walker. Millsap with the steal. Fast break, the Hawks. Here's Teague, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. They get Courtney Lee.
Just absolute domination in this one for Teague. 15 points, and there's a nice number in the assist column as well.
It really has been, Clark. He's created a lot of open looks for his teammates. Very unselfish play from him today.
Well, you just watched Jeff Teague. He's a natural scorer, Clark. He's also made steady improvement as a playmaker.
Yeah, you look at his assist rate, Kevin, well in the top 10 in the league. He's cut down on his turnovers as well. You can tell he's starting to really figure it out, and the game is slowing down for him.
Now here's Williams. And Batum kicks to Williams. Drills it from outside. And the Hornets lead by 7.
I'm not sure who was supposed to pick him up, but somebody's going to get an earful from the coach for leaving him that wide open.
And he's also athletic. You know, sometimes you forget that. I mean, this guy's got the tools also to be a terrific defender. And I still think he's developing consistency at that end of the floor. Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
The three-point shot has been a real weapon for them in the second half.
Yeah, they've really done a good job of creating good looks from the outside, and now they've really got it going.
He kicks it to Horford. The baseline J. And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
And speaking of Jeff Teague's defense, I mean, his rebounding, I think, could also be a little higher. I mean, with his bounce, he can get in there and grab a few more.
Now here's Walker. Feeds to Zeller. To the inside. And Williams gets it to go on the assist by Zeller. Zeller's got 6 assists in the game.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, it's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
And Walker kicks to Williams. Millsap with the steal. Here's Bazemore. Hornets with the rebound. Batum's got 5 rebounds tonight.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly.
Now Lee. Kicks it to Zeller. And there's the pass to Williams. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And Charlotte had a lot of momentum going into last season off that playoff appearance. But they just stumbled out of the gates last season and spent the whole year playing catch-up.
So an almost entirely new group in now for Charlotte. Jefferson's checked in for Cody Zeller. Troy Daniels comes in for Nicholas Batum. Jeremy Lamb's checked in for Courtney Lee. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Walker. Now here's Teague. Millsap. And he dunks it down.
You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can.
Now for the Hornets, they seemed to get back on track last January, but they faded Clark quickly after that and were too far behind to make up room and get in the playoffs.
And, you know, they had a rash of injuries, Kevin, and that really did them in. All in all, it was a season that just didn't have any traction for them because of the injury.
Shots good by Williams. Williams has got the lead up to 12 now for the Hornets.
And he decides to go old school with the finger roll.
Picked by Horford. T kicks to Millsap. Horford sets a screen for Millsap. Rebound by Williams. Williams has got 6 rebounds in the game. Over to the left wing. Here's Jefferson. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
And guys, over his first 3 seasons, no question Jeremy Lamb has been a major disappointment. Clark, his game simply didn't seem to evolve at all over that time.
Well, that's why scouting is an inexact science. You know, he was a major piece in that James Harden trade, Kevin, a few years back, but just hasn't found the traction anticipated for him.
Charlotte making a switch here. Hansbrough's checked in. Right side T. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Hornets.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
And they've also worked hard to get the ball inside. They haven't just settled. And they've hit a lot of high percentage shots in this game.
And so T gets 2 free throws. Clark, if they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Amen. I think that's the best option.
And on the topic of Lamb, he really has everything he needs to succeed. Great length and athleticism. Was an excellent all-around jump shooter in college. For some reason, his game just hasn't translated to the NBA level yet. But I think if he can improve his motor, he's going to have an opportunity to be an impact player for a long time.
And stolen by Horford. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. 1:49 left in the 4th quarter of this one. Back to Teague. And the layup falls. Teague's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And, you know, regarding Lamb's development, most scouts felt the weaknesses he did have could be ironed out over time. Well, there's still time. He needs to improve his strength, his ball handling, and his effort on defense. All things well within his control.
Here is Lin after the made shot from Jeff Teague. On the wing, Korver, defended by Lin. Teague kicks to Millsap. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean,
now here's Lin. On the wing, Daniels. 54 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Lamb dishes to Jefferson. Shot clock at 5. Here's Daniels. Bazemore grabs the miss. And the Hawks with possession here. Down by 12.
Excellent work there in transition.
yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Now here's Lin. Jefferson, a screen on Teague. It's deflected. Jefferson passing to Hansbrough. Lamb. Charlotte again missing.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply.
Now here's Lin. And so it's Charlotte with the win. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans. But Clark, in the end, everyone satisfied.
Yeah, you know, it looked like for a moment there the outcome was in doubt. But give them a lot of credit for hanging tough, persevering, and finishing strong.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan player of the game, Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker's game is all about desire, and you can see it. He wanted to win tonight. He ran the show so beautifully. He made big play after big play. His quickness and ball handling is probably top 5 in the league.
Well, just look at his assists. I mean, that tells the story for the game right there. He was seeing the court so well, always seeming to make the right decision. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our